All right, Seahawks fans, we are doing our Week 18 mailbag. But first, the bosses are on me this week. They are saying our show is not getting enough likes. So, guys, I'm asking you right now, help me out. I told my boss, hey, these fans are great. They're going to help us get to 200 likes. I promised him we will get there. So please do not let me down. I do not want to have that conversation. Go right now, like this video if you love the Seahawks and you want us to keep giving you more Seahawks content. By the way, welcome into Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. I'm Meghan Payton. As I said, we are doing our Week 18 mailbag show today. Now, there were a lot of you guys that asked questions, which is a great thing. We love it, so I'm warning you now. We're going to kind of run through these a bit quicker. I wanted to get as many on here as I could. So let's jump right into it. Our first one coming in from Preston Schmidt. What is Wilson's trade value at? Now, that's a good question. And for all of you right now that are saying, why are we still talking Russell Wilson? It's because you guys are asking about Russell Wilson. So we're going to keep talking about him until you guys stop asking. But I think Russell Wilson's trade value is, first of all, at least 2 first-round picks. You have to understand, Seattle kind of has the advantage here. So they aren't going to do a trade unless they feel like they've won something great. And you've got to look at trades in the past. Now, the one that I'd say is the most easy to compare would be the Matthew Stafford trade that happened last year. So just to remind you, the Rams received Matthew Stafford and the Lions received Jared Goff, a 2021 third-round pick, and a 2022 and 2023 first-round pick. Now, that was for Matthew Stafford. I don't see Seattle going for anything less. That's my opinion. And even though, sure, Russell Wilson has maybe had a more declining year, but given the injury, given the time off, I don't think that that's going to have as much of an impact as one might think. So I definitely don't see Seahawks doing anything for less than 2 first-round picks. Now, we're going to get into some trade options that you guys asked us. But before we do that, give me your Russell Wilson trade ideas. This is our pinned comment, so I want to hear it. Tell me what you think would be fair, feel realistic, and something that you would feel happy about as a Seahawks fan. All right, Caleb Trihane says Russell Wilson plus Jamal Adams for Deshaun Watson. I don't love this. To me, this is not enough, in my opinion. Now, Deshaun Watson, obviously, we know he's a fantastic quarterback, but guess what? We haven't seen him all year, and Deshaun Watson is such a risk. So I'm going to first start by saying, until the legal stuff is handled, I would never do this trade or any trade with him in a million years. He has not played in 2021, still dealing with a lot of investigations for all of the sexual assault charges. Now, we did say that it was reported that these investigations are supposed to be resolved by late January. Whether that happens or not, I don't actually know. But let's just, for now, for sake of this video, live in the world that Deshaun Watson does get rid of these investigations. All is good. I still don't think that's enough, in my opinion. I still think that because Watson didn't play this year, you can't just swap out Russell Wilson for Deshaun Watson, and you definitely can't add in Jamal Adams for Deshaun Watson. So to me, I wouldn't do this trade. I think Houston would need to send over something else, and I think that Seahawks should keep Jamal Adams. Now, maybe I'm being greedy here, but to me, that doesn't seem super fair. All right, Lennox Elder says Russell Wilson for Raiders first-round pick, Marcus Mariota, and Richie Incognito. Now, no. This one's just no. I'd rather take the Deshaun Watson one over this. And I'm going to tell you why. And maybe I said this before. Maybe I am being a little bit overly optimistic on what the Seahawks could get. But this is not in the Seahawks' favor, guys, because I understand Marcus Mariota, sure, he's a great backup in this league. I don't want him as the starting quarterback for the Seahawks. And by the way, Geno Smith's a good backup. If you're not going to bring in a guy to have a better backup, Geno Smith did great when Russell was out. I think that he's a perfect backup to keep on. And you look at Marcus Mariota and Geno Smith. Now, obviously, these stats don't paint the picture of both of these quarterbacks, but I'm just kind of putting this up here to say to you, I don't think Marcus Mariota is so much better of a quarterback than Geno Smith. The one game we saw him in where he was actually, fully playing as a quarterback was when he came in for Derek Carr in 2020. Now, he only had a 60.7 completion percentage. Now, is he better than Geno? Maybe, but not enough for me to say I'd want him as my starting quarterback and not worth at all. Giving up Russell Wilson, and yeah, sure, Seahawks get a first-round pick, but and I just don't think it's worth it. Not to mention Richie Incognito, he's 38 years old. I would be very surprised if he's even in the league next year. I think that there's a high chance that he is retiring after this season. So I'm just going to say no to that whole trade. But I do have something that you guys should say yes to, and that is the Seahawks hats, because they are up to 50% off right now. And there's some really cool ones, guys. If you go to chatsports.com/Seahawks hats, you can get obviously official licensed Seahawks hats. I love the throwback one. I'm going to keep pushing the throwback one because it's my favorite. I love all things Seahawks throwback. There's this cool other beanie style hat. There's a ton of, different things you can choose from. I think there's about 6 options right now, but they are all running out. The more and more I look at these sale items, the quicker they are going. So do not miss out. Go to chatsports.com/Seahawks hats and get up to 50% off on your favorite Seahawks hat. All right, let's keep the questions going. Batman fan 20 Batman. He says Seahawks trade to draft Jordan Davis and sign Geno Atkins in free agency. Batman fan 20 Batman is such a Geno Atkins fan, and we're not really going to talk too much about him. You can go check out our other videos. We talk about Atkins a lot, but I'm going to stick on Jordan Davis for a second because I would love the Seahawks to get Jordan Davis. We talked about this in our draft target video, and I'll put it in the comments, put it in the description. Is it realistic? It's not, unless the Seahawks end up trading someone and then, of course, being able to get a first-round pick, because Jordan Davis is most likely going to be gone. I'd say he's going to go probably within the first 10 picks would be my guess, and it makes sense. He's definitely the best defensive player, in my opinion, coming out of this draft. 28 tackles in 2021, 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, massive guy, 330 pounds. He would be a great addition to the Seahawks defense, but yeah, they would have to have a trade done prior to the draft in order to have a chance at Jordan Davis. Now, as far as Geno Atkins goes, like I said, we're not going to touch on him too much, but I thought maybe it'd be a good idea during the season. Now that we are, ending the season, he's old. I wouldn't say that it would be someone that I would necessarily go after. Not worth it. We'll talk more free agency stuff, though, as the year goes on. All right, guys, and by the way, this is why you subscribe to Seahawks Today, because we are not done talking Seahawks. I told you this. It doesn't matter how good your team is doing. It matters how many subscribers we have. That's what determines how many videos a week you guys get. So if you want more Seahawks content, go to youtube.com/Seahawks TV, press the big red button, and you will stay up to date on all things Seahawks. All right, now we are getting into Jose Sedano. He says, #Seahawks. Is there a reason to hope for a better defense next year with a lot of young emerging playmakers like Jordan Brooks, Darrell Taylor, Trey Brown, and so on? Absolutely. I think Jose is right on point with this question, because it's really funny how it flipped during, I'd say maybe the halfway mark of the season. This defense was struggling at the beginning of the year. They were ranked really bad, so bad that even if you go look at like defense ratings right now, they're still pretty low because of what they dealt with earlier in the season. But the defense really started to step up. Jordan Brooks looks really good. Trey Brown, obviously, we haven't seen in a while because he had a season-long injury, but I like the way that he's doing. Darrell Taylor, I think these are guys that are going to be in Seattle for a while, and I think they're really going to help build this defense. Not to mention, there's other guys like DJ Reed, a ton of guys that are stepping up to the plate that I think Seattle is going to get good use out of. But we will grade the Seahawks defense because it hasn't been perfect, absolutely not, but it's definitely improving. So I do want your just generic grade for the Seahawks 2021 defensive performance. Grade this A, B, C, D, or F. Now, speaking of defense, Pablo Domingo says, what will the Seahawks offer DJ Reed to stay in Seattle? Hello, Meghan Payton. Hello, Pablo. That's a good question because DJ Reed has been performing well, and I've said this before. If you watch our videos, you know what I'm going to say. I want Seahawks to keep DJ Reed and Trey Brown. I like both of those guys. Trey Brown's a rookie. He's going to be on the team next year. Hopefully he's back healthy. I think DJ Reed should get or will get around $7.5 million. That seems accurate. 10 seems a bit steep. Anything under that might be a little bit too low. DJ Reed might go elsewhere. But I'd like him to stay in Seattle, and I think that that would be a fair offer because, yes, he's played well, but he's not considered a top 10 cornerback. Maybe they sign him to a shorter deal, see how it goes, and then, of course, they can reevaluate. But again, DJ Reed is someone that I'll be looking out for amongst all these other guys on the Seahawks defense.